Today on the Thousand Food Family, we're having Crauti, Italian style.
Crauti. For those who don't know, we are eating our way through this book, 1,000 Foods to Eat Before You Die. And as Elliot said, Crauti, Italian style, an Italian approach to sauerkraut. What's sauerkraut?
It's something that's gross.
Well, not everyone thinks so. We've got some raw sauerkraut from Albany, Oregon. We've got a couple of different types of pork with pig's feet, salt pork, and bacon. And we also have these Italian borlotti beans, or also known as cranberry beans. We're gonna do Italian sauerkraut and bean soup. All right, so these beans are dried. So we are actually gonna need to soak them for about 8 hours. And luckily there's some other things we can do while they are soaking. All right, so to start, we have cut this bacon into 1-inch strips. It's a 1/4 pound of bacon. We're gonna add it into the saucepan. All right, so that's on medium heat for about 2 to 3 minutes. All right, Nicole's helping out now. That's been going for 2 to 3 minutes. We got 1/2 teaspoon of the cumin. We're gonna add that and stir it. Also add this sauerkraut that we drained.
It's a strange combination.
And stir that up.
All right, just trying to get the bacon off the bottom here a little bit.
All right, so we got our sauerkraut from Pickled Planet. That's made right here in Oregon, down in Ashland, Oregon. It's all organic. And got that stirred up for about another 2 to 3 minutes. All right, so Talon's gonna help out now. We're just gonna add 1 cup of water. All right, and you wanna stir that up. And we're gonna cover this, and we are gonna just turn the heat down to low. And we're gonna cook this for about an hour. This is an interesting recipe. Takes quite a long time, but slow cooking. All right, so that's been cooking on low for about an hour. We really want all this liquid gone, so we're gonna go ahead and turn that heat up to medium and just boil away this liquid. All right, now the next part of this soup, we've got some potato cut up into small pieces. We got 3/4 pound of pig's feet.
You didn't use the hoof part.
No, that's...
This is like a pig ankle.
There we go. Pig's feet. We're gonna add some salt and cover that with water. All right, I've added that water. We're gonna bring this to a boil and let that boil for an hour. This is a recipe that just has a lot of little steps, and then wait an hour, and then wait an hour, then wait an hour. All right, it's been an hour now. We are going to remove the pork and cut it into strips, and then put it back in. All right, so that's took out the pig's feet. Not a lot of meat or skin on there, but we're gonna return these strips of pork skin back into the soup. All right, you might be wondering where everyone else is. Well, they all went to bed because this dish takes hours to make. But so I put that pork back in. That's just like the pork, the water, the salt, and potatoes. We're gonna add these beans, which have been soaking for about 8 hours, with all of their liquids right on in. We're gonna heat that up to a simmer and let that simmer for about 30 minutes. All right, so that's been in the oven. We set the oven to 300 degrees. That's about simmer temperature, so it's just a lot easier than trying to regulate a burner. But we are going to add in our sauerkraut and bacon mixture into the soup. I'm gonna do that off camera, but we are gonna add that into the soup and cook that for about an hour. All right, so that's been going another hour. Looking pretty good and smelling really good. This point we're going to put in some cornmeal. It's about 3 tablespoons, and just slowly trickle that in and stirring it in. We're also going to add 2 more cups of water in here. And then we're going to cook it for another 45 minutes. All right, next day.
Hello. I heard you were up until the wee hours tending the pot.
Getting this soup ready. We did refrigerate it last night, so we're warming it back up right now. And we are getting ready to finish it off. Last steps. What do we got here?
So I have a very finely minced onion, some onion, and then this is the salt pork that we were able to find in our grocery. I'm having a little trouble cutting it. It's meant to be very finely chopped, but it's kind of difficult. So it might take me a few minutes, but we're going to finely dice this into almost like a paste. That's our step. Okay, I gave up my chopping skills with raw fatty meats are not where it's at. So in the recipe it actually suggested a food processor. So yeah, I think we're good. We've got like definitely a paste consistency. But I do need to also chop the garlic. You wanting to see inside? Ooh, it looks like a moose.
All right, just sauteing this salt pork and onion here until the onion turns golden. This salt pork is mostly just fat, so that's just liquefying. All right, that's starting to turn gold, so Talon's gonna add some garlic. We'll saute that. Then we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of flour, but we're doing it 1 teaspoon at a time. So that's 3 teaspoons of a time of flour. All right, so we got this pesta finished, and we're just gonna add that into our soup. All that flavor to finish this thing off. Stir that in and simmer that up for, I think it's at 15 minutes. So we're just finishing it off, and we'll see you at the table. All right, here we are at the table. We got our big pot of soup. We've dished up some of these bowls to let them start to cool. And we have the Italian sauerkraut and bean soup.
Doesn't really sound amusing, or what's that word? Appetizing.
I think it's gonna be nice and hearty on this kind of rainy spring day.
Goodbye.
All right, go dig in, guys.
Ooh, I'm gonna get some bread first.
Italian's intrigued by the pig's foot that's in there.
I am intrigued because I heard bacon was in there.
It's a bit gelatinous.
It's definitely soft, but when I first bit into it, I thought it was a bean. It tastes like a bean, but it's actually pretty good.
All right, Miles, you're gonna try it. Try the soup.
It's pig's
It's got
foot.
sauerkraut in there.
What's sauerkraut?
It's fermented cabbage.
The cabbage really kind of melted in here. I'm gonna get a little bit more.
The bread is really good.
Yeah.
It's sour.
All right, Miles.
Let's see. Well, I just had this soup, and it didn't really taste like anything, but I'm gonna try with the beans too. Surprisingly, The beans are not that bad. I'm still not a fan of them, but it's not as bad as some beans for me. The beans are really good. I love them.
What do you think of that soup, Talon?
Very, very, very good. I like the beans.
Yeah.
I feel like these are different beans.
Yeah, those are cranberry or what? Bortelli beans? Italian.
Where did the beans come from?
Italy. Amazon.com. They say product of Italy on the packaging.
So I wasn't sure what to expect with the sauerkraut. I think it really mellowed out with the long cook and all the other additions. I think this is really good. It's kind of silky, the broth, and the beans. I like bean soup. This is kind of reminding me a little bit of pinto beans, but I agree the texture is firmer. We use the dry beans soak method, so they're keeping their kind of texture, and the potatoes are nice and soft. I think this is a nice hearty dinner.
The soup is really, 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 really good, and it's probably one of my favorite soups.
Wow.
You haven't really liked a lot of soups, huh?
Yeah, but I love this one.
You love it.
My favorite part is the beans.
Okay, so this soup is pretty good. Like Nicole said, hearty. But I was just trying to think about like pork and bean soup in general. I've had versions of it, but what does the sauerkraut really change? And it makes it a bit sour to the flavor, but we also had sourdough bread, so my whole palate is just filled with kind of a sour note. But yeah, this is enjoyable. All right, you guys have any final thoughts?
I do. So, I think I had once, like it was a Thousand Food Family, we had a soup kind of like this. But I think that this soup is better, and my favorite part of the soup was the beans. I don't really have any final thoughts today.
I found that I did not really appreciate the little, I don't know, is
Pork
it
skin?
Yeah. It's just this texture of it. I would rather have it be like a chicharron than have it be cooked. Anyway, so I took a couple little pieces out, but overall success. I thought it was very tasty.
I think it was definitely like in my top 5 at least. The pig's foot, I wish I got more pieces because I only got like one little chunk, but I liked it. And beans are really good, and the sauerkraut, I don't know how to say that, but I didn't really taste it.
Yeah.
Not like at all. And I really liked it. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. We'd love to hear a comment about what you think is the best Italian dish with sauerkraut, if you've had others. Love to know your thoughts. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye-bye. See ya.